Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sugar-Free Advantage channel. My name is Tony Lapatina. I'm here with my partner, Karen Bentley. And today, Karen is going to talk about the guidelines for sweeteners and how to make educated choices when it comes to sugars and other sweetener types that you may find in products and on the shelves. So take it away, Karen.
Thank you, Tony. And the Sugar-Free Advantage channel is your complete resource for healthy living and healthy weight loss on the sugar-free, low-carb, and keto continuum. And we hope you come back and visit us often. So today we're going to be talking about what the daily guidelines are and the per-serving guidelines for all sweetening agents, and that includes sugars and artificial sweeteners and sugar alcohols and blends and everything else you can think of. And we're going to treat all those substances exactly the same because they're all highly processed foods, every single one of them. And because sugars and other caloric sweeteners raise our insulin and give us triglycerides, some studies are now suggesting that anything that's sweet might have the same impact, at least with insulin, so that we're just like little Pavlov's dogs, Tony, you know, where we taste something sweet and we start producing insulin to deal with it. So it's not proven, but that's a theory that's out there. And so we're going to treat them all the same for those two reasons, because they're all highly processed and because we might just be little doggies who respond to anything that's sweet the same way. So
That's me.
Tony, yeah.
That's me.
What are caloric sweeteners, and what foods belong in that category, do you think?
Well, the caloric ones, I believe, are the so-called natural sugars,
Yep.
syrups, honey,
Yep.
those kinds of things that are all natural, if you will.
Table sugar, honey, agave syrup, maple syrup, all those things are in the caloric sweetener family. And as Tony mentioned, they're all natural because they all come from what?
Nature, plants.
They come from a plant, so they're natural. You know, people like to make a big deal out of many of the sugar alcohols and stevia being natural, but sugar and high fructose corn syrup are natural substances. So it's really you're not getting anything special by saying natural. Natural has nothing to do with processing. People think it has to do with being less processed. It doesn't. It can be processed to death and still be natural.
And natural equates to healthy for an awful lot of people.
Exactly.
When it shouldn't.
Exactly. Okay, so that's our first category. Our first category is caloric sweeteners, so sugar and all its sugar relatives. That's one category. What's another category of sweetening agents?
Well, obviously unnatural, but chemical related or processed, like I don't know, sucralose, the pink one, I forget what its name is, the sugar alcohols.
Yeah.
SweetNLow, that one. Yep.
So there's three really popular artificial sweeteners. These are not natural. So we've Tony mentioned sucralose, which is typically known as Splenda. We've got SweetenLow, which is Saccharin, and Equal, which is aspartame. So those are the three major artificial sweeteners, and we're going to treat them exactly the same as we treat sugar and other caloric sweeteners. That's another category. But then Tony also mentioned sugar alcohols. Tony, do you by any chance know the three major sugar alcohols that people are most likely to stumble upon?
I can remember two, Maltitol and Erythritol, and I can't remember the third.
Oh, you're on fire tonight. Yeah. Maltitol, Erythritol, Xylitol. Those are the ones
Xylitol.
you're most likely to find. And are they natural or not natural?
Well, I forget. Good question.
They're natural. And everybody likes to say that they're getting something better with erythritol and xylitol and maltitol because they're natural, but as we already know, sugar and all its relatives are natural too. And erythritol and xylitol and maltitol are all highly processed foods subject to enzymes and fermentation and hydrogenation. So, you know, I mean, you can fool yourself if you want, but it's a highly processed substance. So far we've got three categories. We've got a sugar and its relatives, which we're going to call caloric sweeteners. We've got artificial sweeteners. We've got sugar alcohols. And there's one other major category that people are most likely to find on their grocery store shelf. Do you know what that is? It's a trick question, Tony.
Thanks a lot.
It's a trick one.
Nope. Coming up blank.
It's a blend. So, you know, so for example, Truvia, which is a stevia product, Truvia is actually a blend because it's made with stevia and erythritol, which we just mentioned is a sugar alcohol. So there's tons of blends out there. And why do we need blends? For a couple of reasons. You know, a sweetening agent like stevia isn't sweet enough on its own. It needs a boost from erythritol. And also they need to make it measure like sugar or approximately like sugar. So there's tons of blends. I've seen them with sucralose. I've seen them with erythritol. I've seen them with xylitol. You know, you just have to look on the ingredients list to see what the blend is made of. Because if you looked at this, you would think that you're just getting, you know, stevia and they like to call it nature's calorie-free sweetener. So, you know, they're trying to make you think you're just getting stevia, but it's stevia and something. And again, I'm not knocking these products. I'm not knocking any of them, but I'm just making you aware that we're going to treat them all the same. As I like to jokingly say, pick your poison. And we're going to pick our poison. We're going to individually pick our poisons, and we're going to treat them all the same, which means we're going to treat them carefully. We're going to treat them with awareness, and we're going to use them carefully in our daily eating. Okay, what do most of the major health organizations recommend as a serving size? Do you have any idea, Tony, what the World Health Organization, for example, recommends?
I don't know what the World Health Organization recommends, but from past experience, I know what you recommend, which is no more than 4 grams of sugar in a serving, if you will, at one sitting, right?
And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. I just wanted to throw out some of the other numbers because it's very confusing to people when they hear different recommendations. And I just wanted to say what they are and why ours are different.
Okay.
So if you look at the World Health Organization, which is probably the premier world health spokesperson, they say 10% of your total energy intake. So if you eat 2,000 calories a day, 10% would be 200 calories of sugar. And, you know, most Americans eat way more than 2,000 calories. So it would be considerably more than that. And if you are trying to eat healthy, or if you are trying to take off weight, that is way too many sugar calories. So even though they say it, you know, it's not ideal. Then they say a further reduction to below 5%. Or roughly 25 grams or 6 teaspoons is better. And now they're getting into the ballpark. That's way much better.
Yeah.
So that's the World Health Organization. Then we're going to go to the CDC. What does the CDC say? The CDC says the same thing. 10% of your calories. It's the exact same recommendation as the World Health Organization.
Nice to see some consistency there.
Yep. And then we're going to go to the American Heart Association. What do you think, Tony? Same or different?
Oh, I got a feeling they might be different.
They took the lower value. They say for women, 100 calories a day or 6 teaspoons, and for men, 150 calories a day or 9. So everybody's getting into the sugar recommending business. And here at the Sugar-Free Advantage channel, we're going to make it even tighter than that. And Tony already mentioned that one serving. Is this going to show up, Tony, on the right way?
Yep.
All right. So 1 serving is 1 teaspoon. And why do we say 1 teaspoon, Tony? Do you remember?
Just easy to measure.
It's easy to measure, and it's all our little fragile bodies can handle at one time.
Oh, right.
Of added sugar. I'm not talking about sugars that come in fruits or sugar that you get from bread or sugar that you get from vegetables. We're talking about sugar that gets added into a drink or a food by the food manufacturer, by whoever's putting it in a container. So 1 teaspoon of added sugar is all that our bodies can handle without giving us a big response. So we know that the glucose that's in sugar produces an insulin response, and we know that the fructose that's in sugar produces a triglyceride response, and we don't want to have either of those responses. So we're going to keep the serving size at 1 teaspoon. 16 calories. How many grams, Tony?
4.
4 grams. So when you look at your nutrition label, you're looking for 4 grams, no more than 4 grams of added sugars. That's your golden rule. And that's the per serving size. Then we have a daily size. What do you think that is, Tony? Daily serving.
Well, the easy answer would be 3 times that, assuming 3 meals a day, but I'm not so sure it's that quick and
You
easy.
did great. Yeah, it is exactly
is.
that easy. It's 3 times that, which is 1 tablespoon. So on a daily basis, you don't want to have more than 1 tablespoon of added sugar in your diet on a regular basis, which is 3 teaspoons, which is 48 calories, which is 12 grams of added sugars, not sugars that come naturally occurring in foods. You're going to have naturally occurring sugars in the carbohydrates that you eat. These are the added sugars that food manufacturers add to foods and drinks that come in a container. If it's, what are the occasions when we can exceed that, Tony? There's about 6 of them. What are the occasions when you can go more than 1 tablespoon of added sugar per day?
I don't know what the occasions are. I know I do it too many times in a day, but right now part of me joining, having this partnership with Karen is to help myself along, which we'll be talking about later, but I'm not sure I can come up with 6 acceptable times.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, those kinds of time. Okay.
Yeah. Thanksgiving.
All right.
Christmas, Hanukkah. Super Bowl Sunday. Your birthday.
All
and
right.
the 4th of July. Those are the kinds of occasions when you can exceed your daily 1 tablespoon limit. And really, you need to really manage it pretty tightly other than that. So you have some leeway. And those are the days when you can take some time off. Otherwise, you want to keep your consumption at 1 teaspoon per serving, 1 tablespoon per day, 2 tablespoons, absolute max, unless it's one of those big holidays when you're just having a big pig out day and you're taking a day off.
And
so
yeah, that's the key. 1 day off, you have to go back immediately to your daily limit after those events take place.
And we're treating every sweetener exactly the same. So whether it's sugar or whether it's an artificial sweetener, or whether it's a blend, or whether it's a sugar alcohol, they're all the same. They all are processed foods, and we're going to treat them all exactly the same. We're going to manage our intake, and by that way, we're going to keep ourselves healthy, and we're not going to produce excess insulin or triglycerides, and we're going to just, coast along under the radar by keeping the intake under control. So just because you're taking an artificial sweetener or a sugar alcohol or a blend doesn't mean it's a free-for-all where you can have as much as you want. You have to eat it consciously and with awareness no matter what you choose. I've noticed that some sugar conscious cookbooks are now just calling it sweetening agent. Pick the sweetening agent of your choice and put it in food. Which really makes a lot of sense because people develop preferences. Some things cause digestive problems, and we're going to talk about that in another video. So, pick the sweetening agent of your choice and manage it. Keep it at 1 teaspoon per serving, 1 tablespoon per day, 2 tablespoons absolute max, unless it's one of those big holidays.
And even then, don't do that and even then, don't do 2 tablespoons every day. That's
every day.
a periodic deviation is allowed, but that's it.
Exactly. And we're talking about added sugars, not the natural sugars that
Right.
occur in fruits and vegetables and breads and dairy. So it's just what it gets added by the food manufacturer. So I hope that helps.
Let me have a question for you on the
Yeah.
added sugars. I see that that's typically outlined on food labels most of the time, maybe all the time. Is there a regulation on that, or is that something that the manufacturers have gone along with?
Starting January of 2021, food manufacturers are supposed to show added sugars on the food label, which will make life so much easier for people who want to be sugar conscious. But we are in a deregulation environment. So I am not sure if they are all going to comply immediately on January 1st, or if it will be a slow rollout, or if there will be some amnesia. And the way to tell in the meantime, if you're getting a lot of sugar, is to go to the ingredients list. That's where the rubber meets the road. You're going to look for the first 3 foods, and you're going to remember that water is not a food, and vitamins aren't foods, and sugar and spices and chemicals aren't foods. You're going to look for the first 3 foods and see what the sweetening agent is, you know, and if it's sugar or high fructose corn syrup or maple syrup or honey or agave or any of those things, it's just way too much. And even if it's sucralose, you know, you want to be really careful with what you're ingesting and keep it at that 1 teaspoon serving if you can, for most choices.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this presentation, and come back and visit us again. Bye for now.
And thank you everyone for joining us. We hope to see you again soon. Subscribe, like, help spread the word, and come back for some more great information. Thanks everyone.
Bye.